Welcome to the paper avalanche. I am going to teach you how to go from this crazy box of paper. And some of you may be saying, if that's all I had, I wouldn't have to learn about this. Well, let me tell you, there's probably more piles otherwhere that are the same size. So we want to go from this to this with some nicely named files. And that way we can keep what comes in into here and know where to find it. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to stop the video in a minute, go around your home with a basket, and I wanted you to pick up every piece of paper. And when I say pick up every piece of paper, I mean every piece of paper. So we know often stuck in beside the fridge or beside the microwave or little envelopes that just go put that there for now. And we often know that on the dining room table, which may not eat at every night, kind of gets cluttered with paper, newspapers, magazines, you know, maybe manuals for something new that you just bought, all those fun things. Oh, and then there's beside the bed on the nightstand, there's those receipts that are just sitting there, or maybe that flyer that you took in to read before you went to bed. And don't forget the kids' rooms. I'm sure there's papers sitting there, maybe even a form that needs filled out for school and has to be sent back in. So stop the video, take a few minutes, and go around the home with your basket and collect everything up. Welcome back. Did you get all your paper? Now I'm going to assume it's a bigger basket than this. So what I want you to do right now is we are going to take this and simplify it really well. And what we're going to use the RAFT system. Read, act, file, and toss. So I'm going to tell you right now, every piece of paper that you just picked up is one of those categories. And when I talk about toss, that means either in the recycle bin or in the bin to be shredded. Just remember, you want to make sure that you shred anything with important information on it, investments, mortgage, you know, different banking information you have, all that type of thing. Make sure that you shred that just for safety's sake, right? So you're going to have a recycle bin and a shred beside you also. Read, act, file, and toss. It's all that simple. And I want you to know, I just helped out my mom the other day. She was struggling with her paperwork. And so we set up this system for her. Talked to her a few days later. I says, how's it going? She says, great. The mail come in, took a look at it, did what I needed to do, and popped it in there. And she says, now it's not sitting on the dining room table. I said, great. That's awesome. So I want to help you and everybody else out there get their paper off their dining room table. Now, just so you know, this works for household, it works for small business, it works for large business. It's just a process that maybe the filing cabinet needs to be a bit larger when you get into a bigger business, right? Okay. So the first thing I look at here is Ninja. Just bought one of these. I've got to file this away so that I can find it when I need it, or somebody drops by to borrow it. I can give them the manual to go with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it in file. I'm going to explain this a little bit more to you a little bit later. We're just going to separate these things right now. So instead of dropping each thing in there, I'm going to do it this way. And it makes it easier for you too, because I'm sure you do have quite a large basket here. And I'm not cutting you down on that. It's just if you don't like paper, you don't deal with it, right? So the next thing, oh yes, so this was an insurance policy that came in the mail yesterday. I have read it through, I have looked at it, and everything is fine. I've taken the little cards off and put them in my vehicle. So basically that just needs filed. Now this one here is a list. I was just out in BC, and this is a list of things that we did not get to see that we wanted to see. So I need to do something with this, and I don't just want to leave it sitting around, or else when we go to BC the next time I won't remember. So this is an action. I need to do something with it. So as you're opening up your mail, you're going to have these envelopes, and I know some of you like to keep them to put notes on, but And that's okay. I'll let you keep about 10 of them, but please don't collect 30, 40, 50, 100 of them. Just a few, okay? And then have a spot for them that you can have them there for when you need notes. But get rid of them when you're done with them. Don't keep them, okay? Mine go in the recycle bin. I'm just going to recycle them. I'm going to be honest, okay? So then as you just keep going through, you will realize that there's a system here. Anything that you just need to read, and it's strictly read, so it's not urgent, okay? Goes in the read pile. Anything you need to act on, so pay a bill, forms that come home with the kids that need to be filled out, maybe your license sticker came for your car, that type of thing. That's an action thing, something that needs to be done. Maybe there's a trip that you want to go on, so you threw the pamphlet in here. That's definitely an action. And then there's the file. So when I talk about file, you're going to say, well, do I just put everything in one folder? For now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to just put it in one folder for now. Because what I want you to do is get used to this system, okay? Read, action, file. Read, action, file, okay? So once you've done that, and I'm going to leave you to do that for a little bit. So once you've done that, then you're going to come back and I'm going to talk to you about some other files. So take your time, get that done, and just pause the video for a minute. Good luck. Okay, so you're back. We have our files in here. We have an empty box or an empty basket, whatever the case may be. And we have read, act, file, and toss, RAFT. So just remember, when you feel like you're drowning, grab the RAFT and you're good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the read away in the read, the action away in the action, and the file away in the file. Now, normally when I'm teaching this class, the first question I get is, okay, well then doesn't it just accumulate in there and nothing gets done with it? Exactly, that can happen. But what I want you to do is put on your calendar, whether you're electronic or whether you're paper-based, it doesn't matter. I want you to put on your calendar the time that you are going to look after this. Now, I have people that like to do this every morning and they keep it cleaned up. That's cool. I like to do mine every Friday morning. So what I do is I pull through all the mail, I put everything in read, action, file. I take the file stuff, file it all away in my cabinets because I have personal and business, which is fine. And the action, I get to get it all done and move on. When I was first starting to learn to run, I didn't decide to run a 5K run and do it the next day. No, I decided to run a 5K run and I had to schedule how I was going to get built up to that and what exercises I need to put in there. And that all had to go on my calendar. So in order to learn a new habit, we have to make sure that we're dedicated to it and we put it in our calendar. This is going to become second nature to you. I don't have it in my calendar to do that every Friday morning. I just know that happens. Kind of like some people do laundry every Saturday or every Monday morning or whatever the case may be. And it just happens. So we just need to make sure that we build this into our schedule. Now, as far as files are concerned, if you run a small household that doesn't have a lot going on, a lot of extra stuff, this may be all you need. Don't need a filing cabinet. So what I would see behind here then in other files, and these are called hanging files. You can also have insert files that you put in. Just one second, I'll show you that. So this is, for example, a file that I have that has information in it on a trip that I'm going in. So I would stick it in the hanging file. So this is a hanging file that says trips/entertainment. And I would stick that in there and I would know that my Italy file is under trips and entertainment. Now, you can have one for utility bills or you can have them separated out. You could have a hanging file that says Bell, Union Gas, Hydro One, just whatever the case may be. Or you can have one hanging file that says utilities and then have the single files in between. So just whatever works best for you, and it just depends on the amount of paper you have. Now, a lot of people are going paperless now. Whatever works best for you. Some people keep everything online. That's great. It's up to you how you handle it. The paper, and I find emails are just as accumulating as paper is. I like to keep my email box down to 50 max. I like to keep it around 10 to 20 if that's a possibility. Sometimes things get busy and it gets popped up to about 100, but very, very seldom. I like to keep that cleaned up just like I like to keep my desk cleaned up. So remember, you can use RAFT, whether it be virtual or whether it be paper. So some of the other files you might want to think about, mortgage, loans, credit cards, children's information, medical information, benefit forms. The list goes on and on and on. So basically, whatever paper you have, you want to get it filed in here. Now, I do suggest that everybody has a firebox. Either that or a safety deposit box, but a lot of people have gone to fireboxes in their homes. So what I have is a firebox, and it's actually very close to this size. And you can put the hanging files in it, or you can get small ones that are just a little bit higher, so very similar to size in this. And you'll want to keep in there your mortgage, your will, anything pertinent to things that if they get lost. First of all, they're going to be very costly to replace. Secondly, that you may need in an emergency. Passports, copies of your social insurance numbers, your copies of your license, copies of your health card, all those kinds of things. And have them put in a fire safe, and anybody that's important around you that should know about that, let them know where the fire safe is and the key and how they can get into it if anything was to happen. When I talk about that, do check out my website. I have a book on there, Now What? And basically it talks about that situation. If someone has to get into your safety deposit box and figure out, okay, now what do I do because they're ill in the hospital and they can't really talk to me right now, they've been in an accident or whatever the case may be, and we never want to think about those things, but they happen. So do check that out on my website and ask me about that. So that is the RAFT system. Read, act, file, and sauce. Keep it simple. Any questions, concerns, whatever the case may be, please shoot me off an email. Be happy to hear from you. If you need a little coaching section, we can do it on phone, we can do it on Skype, whatever works for you. I'd be happy to talk to you for 10 or 15 minutes and get you back on track. So all the best with the RAFT system. Good luck, and let me know how it goes. I want to see a picture of this box. All right, take care till we meet again.